Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So what brought you in today?
I've been drinking more than usual. I don't think it's to be a serious issue, but my family does.
Okay. How much on average do you drink in like a day?
Well, let's see. So I start off in the morning with my cup of coffee, but then I put some Baileys in there, and then I'll bring some more around wherever I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't work too much.
Okay.
And then with lunch, I'll have like a mojito or another drink, and then comes happy hour, so I'll go out for happy hour, and then get home and drink until I pass out again. Start all over again the next day.
So it's all day, every day?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does your family think about it?
They think it's to be a problem. They noticed that after I graduated college, I've been drinking more, probably because now that I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
So they see more of my habits that they didn't see before.
So when you say your family, is it one person in particular, like your mom, your dad, anything like that?
Mainly my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I live with my mom, so it's mainly her. My dad, I don't really talk to him that much, so.
Okay. And you said that I heard that you started drinking a lot more after you graduated college. Was there any reason in particular it escalated then?
Let's see. So, I always binge drank in college, mainly on the weekends. But then my junior year of college, that's when I guess I started drinking more. Something happened, so I was like, just gonna drink my feelings away.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind if we talk about what happened during junior year?
Sure.
Okay.
So I was raped by one of my really good guy friends, so I kind of felt betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
I reported it. School didn't do much because they just said, well, you were drunk, so you probably said yes.
Okay. Well, that sounds really hard. I'm sorry that happened to you.
I drink.
Right. You said that it was a close guy friend?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, what do you think about all that? I mean, it sounds like a really hard thing to go through. So, what do you think about all of it?
Well, I told one of my really good friends, and she said, why don't you just go to therapy?
Mm-hmm.
That would help. I don't know. I went to therapy when my parents got divorced. I thought it was a waste of time, so I was like, no. I just kind of went about my day and just kind of whatever. Just thought like it didn't happen. Just keep thinking it just didn't happen. But obviously, he is one of my good guy friends, so when I do see him around, it just reminds you of that one night.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time when we are together, it's just we're drinking, so I just keep drinking until I black out, so I just don't see him. Like, I just don't remember seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's mainly like why I drink, so I don't have those thoughts of that very moment.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the thoughts that you have?
Just some of the thoughts that I have is just kind of flashbacks to that night, thinking like, wow, like that was a really disturbing thing for him to do. Just the fact that I can't trust people. Felt betrayed, so I just keep thinking like he betrayed me. I'm disappointed, so.
I mean, those are all, natural thoughts to have. Does your family know about this?
No, they're not aware, and I'd rather them not be aware.
Okay, and that's fine. So you said that you started drinking more after that happened, so as like a coping mechanism to help you forget that it happened.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, what do you think about your drinking?
I mean, to me, as long as I can function the next day, I don't think for it to be a problem.
Okay.
I mean, I still wake up every morning. Obviously, it's just like my first thoughts, like, oh, cup of coffee with Bailey's. But I can still function.
So you see no negatives so far?
No.
Okay. And you're 22 years old, and you're a college graduate, but yet you kind of don't have a job with like your degree. So I'm wondering what you think about that.
I have applied to different places. I'm still waiting to hear for a call back because my mom has been nagging me to get a job and stop using the credit card. She's been trying to cut my funds so that way I don't buy as much alcohol. But still find a way.
Right. What are how has like alcohol kind of negatively impacted you so far?
That's a good one. I would think, I mean, yeah, it's kind of negatively impacted me in the fact that like I've applied to different places, but I've also been kind of lazy about it. Because I'm just thinking like if I get a job, I actually have to quit drinking. And then I wouldn't be able to function. I just have those thoughts all the time, so.
So you feel as if you quit drinking, you wouldn't be able to function? Okay, so you feel like the alcohol helps you kind of function throughout your day. Okay. So how would you think? I want us to kind of like look forward, okay? So say we keep drinking as you do on a daily basis. What do you think your life is going to look like in a year from now? Do you think?
A year from now, if I keep drinking, my mom will probably kick me out. Probably won't have a job still. I'll probably like have to move in with my dad. That probably won't be good because he's verbally abusive and he also like drinks. Like not a lot, but he is a drinker. So my life would probably be hectic a year from now.
Okay. And let's kind of look back to like the first time that you drank alcohol. Okay, if you can remember, what kind of attracted you to alcohol?
Well, let's see. So in high school, I got introduced to alcohol, but I didn't really care much for it. I would still go to parties, but it wasn't like a big deal if I had a drink that night or not. And then college, I remember that some of the people that I lived with on the same floor, they were able to go to the liquor store and get alcohol with their fake IDs, and then they offered me a shot, and I was like, sure, and I'm like, oh wow, like, this is a fun time. So then I started drinking on weekends, and then I had a brief boyfriend for like a couple months off me. He cheated on me, so I was like, screw you. And then that's when I started binge drinking on weekends. And then after drinking, I just drank every day.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that originally when you started in high school, you weren't really feeling it. It was just kind of like there, you drank it if you wanted to, but you didn't really have any kind of need for it. But then after you got to college and you were with all your other friends, you saw how much fun they were having, and then you were just like, this is actually really fun. And then you kind of started using it more as a coping mechanism than just like, I just want to go have fun. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is like there's all these kind of negatives there are to your drinking, but you are still, so like what I'm saying is, sorry. So there's this positive that you have, that you can, you forget everything that has happened to you so far. But on the negative side is that your family's not cool with it. They don't really want you to keep doing it anymore. And I hear, there's a lot of like negative effects of it too. Okay. So I guess if you were to change your drinking habits, how would you go about doing that?
I guess just start cutting down more,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually get to a point where I don't need a drink every day.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if I go out on the weekends, I'm not going to say no to a drink.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's a start. Just to maybe not start first thing in the morning.
Okay, so you significantly cut back throughout the day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you ever tried cutting back before?
I think for like one time finals week, I was like, all right, like I need to not be drunk going to my finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's when I tried cutting, but then it didn't work out well. All these negative thoughts just kept coming back.
Okay. So it didn't work out because the negative thoughts were too overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think has to change with your drinking?
Let's see. What do I think has to change with my drinking? I guess the fact that maybe I need to talk more with people about my situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that way that will change my drinking habit. And probably learn some coping skills other than drinking.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like you want to start talking to people more and kind of letting them know what's going on.
Yeah.
Who would you talk to?
Well, I should probably tell my mom because I know she's been concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a start. Obviously, following through with therapy, not thinking that's dumb and helping me out.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just do that for now.
So your mom, you feel like your mom will be a really good support system?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So is it okay if we kind of move into kind of like CBT skills? I want to introduce you to those. Is it okay if I introduce you to those? Okay. Alright, so I want you to look at this triangle, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a CBT triangle looking at our thoughts, our actions, and our feelings, and how they all interact, okay? So what we want to do is we want to identify the thoughts that we're having, and the feelings associated with those thoughts, and how those affect our actions. Okay?
Okay.
So we want to kind of, if there's any, dysfunctional thoughts that can lead to just feeling, really like crappy moods, which usually have bad actions. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions over this?
No.
No? Okay. Well, first I want to talk about some automatic negative thoughts. Do you have any idea what those could be?
Automatic negative thoughts. Probably thinking about my rape.
Yeah.
Thinking about disgust.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking how disappointed I am. How I feel betrayed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so automatic negative thoughts are really any thought that we have like about ourselves or about the world around us that are usually pretty negative and are pretty powerful too. So they're kind of like dysfunctional beliefs, like I'll give you an example personally. So I'm really scared of heights. I don't like them at all. So when I'm in that situation where I'm like really high off the ground, I look down thinking, I'm going to fall and I'm going to die. And that could be like, I'm standing this far off the ground and I just feel like I'm going to fall and die. Obviously, a fall from that is not going to kill you, obviously. But when I'm in that situation, I start like, my heart starts beating, I start sweating, and I start just like shaking. And so then my behavior is I either just avoid heights altogether, or if I'm in that situation, I like grip onto something really tight and I'm just like freaking out and I'm just wishing I wasn't there. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Does that example make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So now I want to go into kind of a thought-changing worksheet, okay? So I want you to think of an event, like a situation, where you often have negative thoughts.
Let's see. If I see someone who resembles my rapist.
Okay. And what are the feelings that you have when you see them?
I feel anxious and nervous.
Nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to think of some beliefs or thoughts that you have along with these anxious and nervous feelings.
Flashbacks to that night. What else? Think of how disappointed I am.
Okay.
How disgusted I am.
So you're like, you look at him and you're like, I'm disgusted with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Also think how worthless I am, I guess.
Oh, okay. Okay. Those are okay. And now I want to talk about any thought that you have to kind of reject the thoughts that you just gave me. Okay. So with the let's go with the one that you said that you're worthless. I want you to give me a statement that says that you're not. So dispute that.
Okay. I guess I'm not worthless because I have a lot going for me.
Good. Anything else? Let's move to I'm disgusted with him. How can you dispute that?
I guess I could dispute it that we're all human and we all make mistakes.
Okay. And then I want you to put yourself back in that situation. And instead of, saying like, oh, I'm disgusted with him or I'm worthless, I want you to now look at him and have the disputing thoughts. So I have a lot going for me, I'm not worthless, and we're human and we all make mistakes. And now what effect do you think that'll have the next time you see someone that looks like him?
I guess it'll make me feel as if I've moved one step further of not having negative thoughts about that situation.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like you can kind of move on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And then, so I also want to give you this, which are common thinking mistakes that we have. So we can look at this. And let's go through a few of them. So, we have like the black and white thinking, it's either all or nothing. Or we can say that the worst happens, it's always the worst. It's never good, it's never a little bit, it's always, an extreme and things like that. So I just want to give this kind of, so do you think that you have any of these thinkings? What kind of you?
I jump to conclusions a lot.
Okay.
I haven't had a serious relationship, and I can't just because I think like, oh, they're just gonna use me for one thing.
Okay.
I guess missing the positive.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So, so you tend to focus on the negatives instead of like what's actually positive around you. That's good. Right. So, there's also another one that I just want to have for you. So, I want next time you're having a really negative belief, I want you to kind of think about these 3 things. Is it true? Is it helpful? And is there another explanation? So it's really getting you to kind of stop and think about your thoughts in a more positive way instead of just assuming that they're always true. So I want you to also take this with you. All right. So kind of want to ask you a question. Is it possible for us to avoid, all the problems in our lives?
Obviously, you can't avoid every problem.
Right. So there's always going to be things that are going to come up and like trigger you into thinking about your rapist and then wanting to drink. So I want to kind of identify some of your triggers that you have for drinking.
Triggers that I have is just a negative thought comes in, I'm like, all right, I need a drink.
Okay.
To not have that negative thought, just be happy.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Like I mentioned before, seeing someone similar to him.
Mm-hmm. Let's just do one more.
Yeah. I guess just sometimes I'll like run into the email from like my school saying that they're not going to do anything with my case. So.
Okay. So just a reminder of case.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we kind of have identified kind of your triggers, I want you to pick one and we're going to do a problem-solving worksheet to help you kind of stop and really think about it before you go and drink, okay? Mm-hmm. So out of the 3, which one would you like to select?
I'll do negative thoughts.
Do negative thoughts? Okay. So what we want to do is now that we have this problem, we want to have kind of the options that you have. So when a negative thought pops into your mind, what are your options?
A positive one or a negative?
Any.
Okay.
Any at all. Let's do 4.
Okay.
4 options.
When a negative thought pops in, take a shot.
Right. Drink. That's what you normally do.
Could go for a walk.
Okay.
Could talk to someone.
And one more.
I guess I could meditate.
Meditate? Okay. Okay. And now we're going to kind of think about the likely outcome in a positive and negative way. So when a negative thought happens, you drink. Is that positive or is that negative? I want you to give me both.
I guess it's a positive and a negative.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In what way is it positive?
Positive because I can be happy.
Okay.
And it's a negative because I know that it doesn't make Mom happy.
And then what's the outcome if you go on a walk?
It's a positive one.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I'm getting some exercise in. But I'm also able to not focus that much on my thoughts.
Okay.
Focus more on like the scenery.
And talk to someone, positive or negative?
Probably positive.
Why is that?
So I can like express my feelings to someone else other than just keep thinking I'm worthless.
Mm-hmm. Right. And last one is meditate.
That would be a positive one.
Positive?
Yeah.
What do you like about meditating?
Just the fact that you feel relaxed after you meditate.
That's good. So, out of these 4, which one do you think is the best one to do?
Well, for now, I guess talk to someone.
Talk to someone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what I want you to do is before I see you next, I want you to kind of try this out, and then when we come back, we'll kind of evaluate how that did. Okay. And then before we go, I just wanted to kind of talk about what's called behavior activation. So really this is getting you to do some enjoyable activities and kind of help you improve your mood and improve like your functioning. Okay, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then I want us to kind of identify some of those activities, and then we're gonna make a goal on it, all right?
Okay.
So I have a list here. You can like this list, you can hate this list, you can do whatever you want. But I want you to kind of look at it and kind of think about something that you could implement within this week. Something that's enjoyable, that you can do frequently, relatively inexpensive, things like that.
Talk on the phone.
Talk on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that the one that you choose?
Yeah.
Okay. And who would you want to talk with?
Probably my best friend from college.
Okay.
I haven't talked to her in a while.
Good. So now we're going to kind of do a SMART goal around that. So I want you to give me I want you to make it specific, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly do you want to accomplish by talking to your best friend?
Just kind of see how she's doing, catch up, and then just kind of ask if it's okay if I can talk to her about what happened junior year.
Okay. So kind of get a deeper conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
And then how will you know if you've reached this goal?
I guess by actually accomplishing it.
So like actually calling her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always pick up the phone but I never dial.
And then, so another thing with goals is we want to make sure that they're realistic. So how realistic do you feel like this is?
I mean, it's pretty realistic if I just stop chickening out.
And just actually do it.
And actually do it.
Okay. And why your best friend specifically? Like, why is that significant to you?
Well, she's the only one that's actually aware of the whole situation.
Okay. And then, when do you want to achieve this goal? Just within the week, before we meet? When?
I think within a week.
And I want to talk about why is this important to you? Like, why do you want to kind of talk to her, besides that she just knows the situation?
It's important for me because I want to be able to get my feelings out and not keep my thoughts to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you feel like when you, what do you think, is that going to be like the benefit, is that you can get those feelings out and you can get them?
Yeah, I feel like once I get my feelings out and thoughts out, I can probably get some feedback and some reassurance from someone else.
That's a good goal. Now I kind of want to talk about some potential obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So let's identify kind of 3 obstacles that you could have.
Okay, one is not even making the phone call.
Right?
One is that she doesn't answer the phone.
And what's the third one?
Another one is not hearing what I want to hear.
So, and then I want to look at possible solutions that you could have. So if you say that not calling is one of your obstacles, how could you kind of plan for that?
It's probably like set reminders to make a phone call.
That's a good one. And what if she doesn't answer?
Try again.
And what if you don't hear what you want?
I guess just think that people will give you some criticism that you don't want to hear. Just accept it.
Just accept it. Okay, those are good. So then I'll give you both of these, and then what I have left for you is just a weekly plan for your pleasant activities. So I want you to kind of track within the week or within the next couple weeks before I see you next, like when you kind of call her, or even just call like your mom, talk to somebody about what's going on, and then we can evaluate that when you come back in a couple weeks.
All right.
Do you have any other questions for me?
No.
All right. Well, then I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay.